Thank you for choosing to learn more about Civility First. My name is Melissa Meehan and I'm a commissioner with the City of Farmington Community Relations Commission. Each month during 2017, we're going to be focusing on a trait of Civility First. Since this is our first month, we're actually going to flash back to last June when I was featured on the Mayor's Table with Mayor Tommy Roberts. Please join us and learn a little more about Civility First Four Corners, a project of the Community Relations Commission.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Mayor's Table. I'm Mayor Tommy Roberts, and my guest this morning is Melissa Meehan, who is the chairperson of the city's Community Relations Commission. Melissa has been chairing that commission for a year now, or maybe a little bit less than a year. She's been on the commission for 2 years, so she's risen very quickly to the top of the ranks. Melissa, in 2015, the Community Relations Commission originated and implemented a program that is centered around the concept of civility. And I want to talk this morning about that program and how it began, how it came into effect, and what was done in 2015 to implement that program, and also to talk about what the future holds for that program. So if you would, I'd just like for you to go back to the origination of the idea and tell us how it came about.
Well, Civility First Four Corners started actually as kind of a brainchild of the Minority Issues Roundtable, a group that meets with you just to present different ideas and different concerns about what they feel impacts the minority community here in Farmington. And one thing that consistently rose to the top of that conversation was outsiders coming into town to do business, particularly those off the reservation, expressing a concern that maybe they didn't feel that their business was as valued as it could be, and that their contributions to the community weren't appreciated necessarily by others within the community. So we decided that we would try to create a program with the intent of letting folks know that Farmington does value the citizens, both external and internal, that are all part of our greater community. And that businesses could take a step to let the greater community know that they value operating business fairly, justly, and honestly above all else. So that was the root, and then it kind of grew from there.
So the underlying concern was probably racism in our community, and we have historical incidents of racism. I always maintain that we are not a racist community, but like every community, we have stupid individuals who don't know better. Exactly. And so we try to deal with those problems. But we didn't attack it on the basis of racism. We decided to attack it on the principle of civility. And that principle, I think, is based really upon the golden rule. Exactly. And that is to recognize that people want to be treated with respect, and to think about how you want to be treated and treat others in that same way. So how did you implement this concept in the community?
Well, first and foremost, we went with the business approach. So we reached out to several local businesses that we called our hallmarks. And they were ones that when we had discussions with people rose to the top as far as being experts or very good at the service they provide the community. And so we talked to several of those. We had meetings. We brought them to the table. And we asked them what they were doing right and how they feel that they communicate the message to the public, that they love their customers, they love what they do. And so through those different discussions, we created the Business Civility First program. We created decals that look like this. They're not nearly this large, but businesses could elect to sign up for these, put them in their window, and it kind of communicates to every person that walks by, every person that conducts business with them, that we are saying outright that we are putting civility first and operating by that golden rule. We want to treat our customers with the respect that we would want us to be treated with when we're out conducting business.
Well, what was the degree of buy-in by the business community?
We've actually had quite a few, particularly the city itself set the example, and I don't think you can go into a city business today and not see some level of the decal or our posters presented. You can walk into several different businesses, you see it on the door. I know if you go to a local appliance, Quality Appliance, which was one of our hallmarks, they have posters actually on their refrigerators and different things. So we had a really good response. We're a little limited by manpower on our side. We're all volunteers with full-time jobs, so we haven't been able to reach out quite to the extent that we would like to. But we're hoping that we can continue to grow that, and especially through mediums like this, maybe get some business to come engage with us that want to be a part of it.
2015 was designated officially as the year of Civility First Four Corners. And I think the concept was to really emphasize the program as a new program throughout 2015. And then the idea was to perpetuate the program into the future. What kinds of things did you do specifically in 2015 to highlight the program?
We started off with a big bang. We had a meeting, for lack of a better word, a celebration down at the Civic Center. We had folks from the Office of African American Affairs, representatives of the Latino community come on in, and we celebrated civility and acts of civility. From that point on, we had several local groups do events in the name of civility. The library really embraced it, held several events related to literature and things that reflect civility. The local healing field over Memorial Day was done in honor of civility, Junior Civitan. So a lot of people picked it up and did something, and maybe it was something they would have done anyway, but an act of civility in the name of civility to celebrate that.
I think we've gotten some statewide recognition for the program, not anything official, but we do know that people from around the state are aware that this program was originated and implemented in Farmington. So I think that's a positive as well.
Absolutely. We had, of course, the Office of African American Affairs came down. They came down very excited for the program, with hopes perhaps to see it expand in the future. Some folks, just different conferences we were at, came down. A lady from Santa Fe wanted to pick it up and run with it right away in Santa Fe, and we weren't quite ready to share it. We're still on our building block phase, but I do think it's something that going down the road, we may have a lot of potential for seeing expand into other communities.
What is your vision for this program in the future?
Of course, we want to see it expand. We want to see the business aspect expand. I would love to see every business I walk into in Farmington have that decal on their door. We also have products for the public. We have decals that people can choose to put on their vehicles or their windows. We have posters and things, and we hope to really expand these. The current series all feature what we call local celebrities. So they're groups of people that the community may know. Miss Navajo Nation did one. There's some Farmington PD. There's a community group in Kirtland that came together to build a neighborhood watch. So they were really targeted on groups making differences. But we want to expand that and have maybe a workforce series where it's focused on real life implementation of Civility First. And so we want to do all those things. We just have to get there. Manpower, again, is always an issue when you work with volunteers, but we have big dreams.
Well, Melissa, I want to thank you for your individual efforts in taking the reins here to see this program organized and then rolled out into the community. And I fully embrace it. As you know, I think a community only reaches its full potential when it can demonstrate that it's a tolerant community, an inclusive community. And that's one of the things that I would like to accomplish during my term, is to make great progress in that direction. As I say, I give you great credit, a lot of credit for this program, but I know others have worked on it. Would you like to identify some of the key participants, the individuals on the Community Relations Commission?
I would absolutely love to. First and foremost, the Minority Issues Roundtable was there to bounce ideas. Lynn Love has been by my side from day one implementing this program. Mark Marquez, Catherine Abeda, and of course the Community Relations Commission that was willing to pick this up and make this their baby to make it happen.
I want to thank you, Melissa, for being here this morning. I think this is an important issue for our community. It's one of the most important in my mind. The more we can stress treating people with civility, the better it is in my mind. So I'm looking at as many forums and venues as we can possibly do that. And Thank you for your effort.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for joining us at the Mayor's Table today. I hope you enjoyed this program. We'll look forward to seeing you next Monday.